Welcome to the It Factor, where Jemmy and I, exploring a new blog post by Mr. Len Kaplan, CEO of CDML, a managed service provider in Queens, NY, offering network management, voice over IP and UCAS, cybersecurity, compliance, IaaS, cloud solutions, and Microsoft 365 and Azure solutions. If you're a small business owner or manage IT for a growing organization, this episode is for you.
And that's a lot of technical language right off the bat. It's probably worth just quickly defining a few of those for you.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so when we say VoIP or VoIP, that's just your phone system running over the internet. It's simply more flexible.
Cheaper, too, in a lot of cases.
In most cases, yeah. And then UCAS, which you'll hear called UCAS, that's sort of the whole package. It bundles your VoIP, your team chat, video calls, all of it into one cloud service.
Got it. And the last one, IaaS.
Right, infrastructure as a service. That just means instead of buying and managing your own servers, you're essentially renting computing power from the cloud. You can scale it up or down whenever you need to.
Which is a perfect lead-in to what we're talking about today. We're doing a deep dive into Mr. Kaplan's blog post, and the title is fantastic. Lessons from the Louvre Heist: Why Old-School Attacks Still Threaten Modern Cybersecurity.
It's a great title, because it immediately gets you thinking. It challenges that assumption that the newest threat is always the biggest one.
Exactly. And our mission here is really to distill the core argument from that article, which is that, while we're all terrified of these complex AI-powered hacks, the real damage, the vast majority of it, comes from really simple, fundamental mistakes.
We're going to show you why it's less about building a digital fortress and maybe more about just making sure your windows are locked.
And that Louvre analogy from the post is the perfect way to frame this. I mean, when that heist happened, everyone, myself included, pictured something out of a movie.
Right. Lasers, thermal sensors, hackers in a van down the street, the whole Ocean's 11 setup.
But the reality, as the article points out, was almost comically simple.
It really was. There was no high-tech gear, no advanced malware. The thief literally just used basic tools, put on construction worker vests, rented a lift, and did a smash and grab.
The whole thing took just a few minutes.
Mere minutes. It was a failure of the most basic physical security, not some kind of sophisticated digital breach.
And that's what's so powerful. It suggests you can spend millions on the world's most advanced alarm system, but it's worthless if someone can just, walk in through an unlocked side door.
Precisely. And the post-mortem investigators found four really critical gaps. First, the attackers' tools were cheap and easy to get. There was no high barrier to entry.
Okay.
Second, and this is the key metaphor, they didn't go for the main entrance. They targeted a neglected side window, a known weak spot.
That's the digital neglected window we need to keep in mind.
It is. Third, they just took advantage of predictable routines and slow response times. And fourth, all the existing alarms and cameras, they just weren't set up to stop a fast, simple attack like that.
The bottom line being, your high-tech defenses are useless if your foundation has cracks in it.
Exactly. And that brings us right to the world of small and mid-sized businesses, SMBs.
Right, because when you talk to them, they're worried about the scary stuff. The AI malware, the deepfake phone calls, the things they see on the news. They're focused on that high-security vault door.
And Mr. Kaplan's article argues that focus is, well, it's misplaced. Cyber attackers are, at the end of the day, pragmatic. They're lazy, even. Why spend a year developing a new exploit when they can just find an employee password that's password 123?
They'll always choose the path of least resistance.
Always. The data shows the most damaging breaches still come from simple, preventable weaknesses.
So let's talk about those. Let's identify the digital neglected windows that these attackers are looking for.
Okay, well, you have to start with the human element. It's always the weakest link. Phishing emails are still incredibly effective.
Where they trick someone into clicking a bad link or giving up their password.
Exactly. And they're getting so good at impersonating vendors or, even your own IT department.
And the password problem. I mean, it feels like we've been talking about this for 20 years, but weak and reused passwords are still at the top of every list.
It's frustrating, but it's true. People use the same password for their social media and their work email. So when a big site gets hacked, attackers take that list of passwords and just try them everywhere. It's called credential stuffing.
And it requires zero skill on their part. Just a list and some software.
That's it. Then on the more technical side, you have missing security patches. It's like leaving a known hole in your wall and just hoping nobody finds it.
Because when a company like Microsoft puts out an update, they're basically announcing what the vulnerability was.
Yes. They're giving attackers a roadmap. If you don't patch your systems immediately, you are a sitting duck.
What about the things that are less obvious? Like Configuration mistakes.
Those are everywhere. It could be a firewall that's accidentally left a port open to the internet, or a really common one is giving employees way too much access to files.
The principle of least privilege.
Exactly. The intern doesn't need admin rights to the whole server. If that one account gets compromised, the attacker suddenly has the keys to the entire kingdom.
And then there are the ghosts of IT past, right? The old stuff left running.
Oh, absolutely. Old remote access tools that were set up for a project 5 years ago and just forgotten. And the biggest one, which is so easy to fix, accounts for former employees that were never disabled.
Attackers must love finding those.
They check for them first. It's a free, unguarded entry point.
So all of these low-end attacks work because they follow that Louvre Heist playbook. Strike fast, strike where it's easy. Can you give a few more concrete examples?
Sure. Think about fake invoice scams. The attacker gets into one employee's email, they watch the billing cycle, and then they send a fake email to your finance department saying, hey, we've updated our bank details, send the next payment here.
And it bypasses all the firewalls because it just looks like a normal email.
Totally. It's a social engineering attack. Then you have malware hidden in, what look like normal files, a PDF, a DocuSign request, a FedEx shipping notice. You click it, and it's too late.
We've even seen QR code phishing start to pop up.
Yeah, it's amazing. A simple sticker with a malicious QR code on it, placed over a real one in a restaurant. You scan it, it takes you to a fake login page, and you just hand over your credentials.
It's a low-tech attack on a high-tech habit.
Perfect way to put it. You combine that with someone using unsecured public Wi-Fi, and you've basically just rolled out the welcome mat for attackers.
So the message from Mr. Kaplan's piece is just so clear. Stop obsessing over the sci-fi attacks until you've bolted down the basics. So what are those non-negotiable first steps?
Okay, the list is mandatory. And number one, above everything else, is multi-factor authentication, MFA.
That's your password plus a second thing, like a code from your phone.
Exactly. A password plus a code or a tap on an authenticator app. It almost completely neutralizes the threat from stolen passwords and credential stuffing. If an attacker has your password, it doesn't matter. They can't get in without your phone.
That's a huge win for a pretty small implementation effort.
It's the highest return on investment in all of cybersecurity. Foundational. After that, you have to enforce strong, unique passwords. You have to patch your systems regularly, religiously, and use modern antivirus and email filtering.
And what about that access control problem we talked about?
Right. You have to tighten file permissions, no more giving everyone access to everything, disable old accounts the second an employee leaves, get rid of those old remote access tools. If you're not using it, turn it off.
It sounds like a lot of digital housekeeping.
It is. And you have to check your own work, log activity, and actually review the logs. Run regular vulnerability scans to find the cracks before someone else does.
And then there's the human gap.
Always. You have to train your employees on how to spot phishing and social engineering. Your people are your last line of defense. One click can bypass millions of dollars in security tech.
So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, wow, I have at least a few of these neglected windows, the blog makes a pretty strong case for getting help. And that's where a company like CDML comes in.
Yeah, they're set up to do exactly this kind of fundamental work. The article points out they help manage Microsoft 365 Business Premium, which has Defender security built in. They manage firewalls, like from SonicWall, making sure they're configured correctly and always up to date.
So they take that constant patching and maintenance off your plate.
Exactly. They run the vulnerability scans for you, they manage the patches, and crucially, they provide that employee security awareness training to help close that human loop.
And for businesses that handle sensitive data, compliance is a huge deal. CDML offers guidance there too. Let's just quickly touch on those acronyms.
Sure. So we have HIPAA, which is for protecting patient health information. Then for businesses in New York, you have the SHIELD Act, which has really strict rules about protecting private data and reporting breaches.
And for financial services.
That's where NYDFS and GLBA come in. The New York Department of Financial Services has its own tough cybersecurity regulations. And GLBA is a federal law for financial institutions about protecting consumer data. These aren't just suggestions, they're legal requirements.
And you really don't want to try and navigate those on your own.
You really don't.
This whole conversation really brings us back to that brilliant title from Mr. Kaplan's article. It's so easy to get mesmerized by the complex threats of tomorrow.
When the things that are actually causing the most damage today are the same old tricks we've been seeing for years. That is the final lesson. Don't fall for the security theater. Just lock your windows and doors. Focus on MFA, patching, training, and access control. You'll stop the vast majority of attacks that way.
That's a powerful perspective. If you like this deep dive and the lessons we pulled from Mr. Kaplan's blog post, be sure to click that thumbs up button. New blog posts come out every Tuesday and Thursday.
And we really encourage you to visit https.cdml.com and subscribe to their blog for more of these essential insights.
Till next time.